Okay, so this is section 10.3, central angles and arc measures and arc length. So just a little refresher of 10.2, area and circumference review. So in number 1, our R is 29 centimeters. So formula for area is pi r squared. So the area is going to be pi 29 squared. So we can do... So if we want to, we can leave our answer in the form of 841 pi, like not multiplying that pi all the way through. Makes our math a little bit easier. Or you can multiply it through, and that'd be like 2,641.1 centimeters squared. Circumference, that is 2 pi r. So here this would be 2 pi times 29. So this is going to be 58 pi, 29 times 2, 58 pi centimeters. Or if you multiply that through 182.2 centimeters. Remember, circumference is not squared. Only area is squared. Okay, number 2. So in this case, our diameter is 16.5. So our radius is 8.25. We just have to divide that by 2. So area is going to be pi 8.25 squared. So we could say it's 68.1 pi meters squared, or multiply that by pi, 213.8 meters squared. For circumference, we have the diameter, so we could just call this 16.5 pi meters. Or if you want to, because its formula is just diameter pi, or if you want to put that in your calculator, multiply the pi out, it's 51.8. That's a 5. Okay, number 3. Find the diameter of a circle with the area of 153.94 feet squared. So, some important things. We are trying to find diameter, and we're given the area. So, remember, area is equal to pi r squared. So 153.94 is equal to pi r squared. Now, remember, when you're solving, you need to do your order of operations backwards. So usually you go exponents and then multiplying, but when you solve, you need to go this way. So you do your adding and subtracting, then your multiply, dividing, then your exponents and parentheses. So in this case, we're going to divide by pi, and then we can deal with the exponent. So I got 49 and a bunch of decimals. That was 49.000. So I'm going to ignore that. I'm just going to do 49, because when I take the square root, which the squared and the square root are going to cancel each other out, so you get r is equal to 7. Now remember, the question wants us to find diameter. Remember, diameter is equal to 2 radiuses. So diameter is going to be 14 feet. Find the area of a circle with a circumference of 28.27 yards. So what do we know? We have circumference given to us, and we want to find the area. circumference formula. Well, because we need to find area, and area deals with radius, I'm going to use the 2 pi r formula. So we have 28.27 is equal to 2 pi r. So remember, pi, just a number, so we can divide that out. Just when you're typing in your calculator, make sure you have parentheses around the 2 and the pi so that your calculator knows it needs to divide both 2 pi from your number. Otherwise, you could end up getting a bigger number than you mean to, because it might be thinking, sometimes if you don't do the parentheses, this is what your calculator thinks. Your calculator thinks it wants to divide by 2 times by pi, which would get you not what you want, because remember, we don't want to divide by 2 times by pi. We want to divide it by 2 pi together. Okay? So I got 499, so I'm going to do 4.5 is equal to my r. Now my area is pi r squared, so pi 4.5 squared. So we'd say 20.25 pi yards squared, or you can multiply that out. Okay, now, remember that was just a refresher from yesterday. So now we're moving on to some new stuff, central angles. So we have our central angle measure. Remember, this should be something we've heard before because we talked about it on that day 1 with our vocab. But a central angle is the angle with its vertex at your center and its 2 sides are radii. The sum of all central angles in a circle is 360. So that means starting here, going all the way around together is 360. So an example of a central angle is the measure of angle ABC is equal to 84 degrees. So in this case, ABC is a central angle, and that equals 84 degrees. So the degree of an arc formed by the endpoints of the central angle is equal to the degree of our central angle. So in this case, it's saying this degree right here of that arc is going to be equal to your angle. So the measure of arc AC is going to be 84 degrees. Now the measure of that major arc, ADC, remember that's going from here to D to C. So let's highlight it a different color. This way. We're just going to do 360 minus the 84. So you get 276 degrees. So now we're going to try some example problems. So number 1, find each angle and arc measures. So arc JK, that's right here, it's going to be equal to this angle. So 21 degrees. KL, that's going to be this arc. Well, remember, half of a circle is 180. So we're going to do 180 minus 21. So I got 159. That means this angle in here is also 159. MLK. So that means it wants to go from M to L or from M to K to L. So everywhere but this inside part. So that means we're going to do 360 minus that 21. Because remember, these are congruent, so this is also 21. The measure of angle JNM. JNM. Well, if this is 159, this is also 159. Okay, now arc JKM. J to K to M. So everything but the 159. So for me, you could say add up the 21, 21, 159, or you could do 360 minus that 159. It's 201. Oh, all of these are degrees. Okay, number 2. So we know a right angle means this is 90. And we know we got 34 degrees in there. If this is 90, and this makes a straight line, and this makes a straight line, that means these are also 90. Now let's do the box. Now, that means that these last two together have to be 90. And if we have a 34, we could do minus 90 minus 34, meaning this is 56. So now we have all of our little parts. We know we got a 90, 90, 90, 56, 34. So that's all we need to kind of figure out these questions now. So CD, that's to be 90. FD. F to D, we want the shortest route because it doesn't have that middle letter in there. F to D, so it's going to be 90 plus 34. So 90 plus 34. So that's 124 degrees. Now arc measure DCF. D to C to F. So that's going to be a 90 and 90 and a 56. So 180 plus 56. So we'll write that out. 180 plus 56. So we get 236. Now last one, GDF. G to D to F. So everything but the 56. So we do 360 minus 56. So 304 degrees. Okay, flip the page. So number 3. So now we're going to have to find x. So there's a couple different ways we can do this. Easiest way to remember is that a circle is equal to 360. So we're going to take all of these measures and put them equal to 360. Remember, this is 90. Okay, let's do some combining like terms. Let's add all of our x's. And then we have a 90 plus 9 minus 12. So all that combines to 87. Minus 87. Divide by 39. Here, let's show that in there. So x is equal to 7. Now, let's plug that 7 in to find these different measures. 8 times 7, get 56. 21 times 8 minus 12. You get 156. 10 times... Oh man, I accidentally plugged 8 in instead of 7. Oops. 10 times 7 plus 9. Okay, so now we want Wx. So we just plugged all that stuff in, so it should be pretty easy. Wx, 135. YW. Remember, we want, when it's only 2 letters, we want the shortest way. YW, 90 plus 56. Okay, measure of XY, or YX, same thing, 79. Okay, now we got a major arc, so VXW, from V to X to W, so everything but the 56. Oh. Which we just did on that last one. So it's 304. Okay, now moving on to arc length, so the last little bit. So this is that formula I had you guys write down on the very first day. So remember, there's kind of 3 variations of the formula depending on what's given to you. So if you're given the diameter, use the diameter. If you're given circumference, use circumference. Oh, if you're given radius, use radius. Sorry guys, that should be an R. So we got 2 problems left. So VS is 12. So that's our diameter. So we can go ahead and put a D there. We know that's diameter. We want to find the length. Remember, oops, thought that was my highlighter. Length. So we're going to use arc length formula. Not degree. Up here, you guys see how it had the M? That means degree. We want the length. So we're just going to take a portion of that circumference. So UT, well, we got to do a little bit of math here. So remember, this is 180. So we're going to do 180 minus 127. That gets us this little bit here is 53. But if this is a 90, then this is also 90. So to find UT, I'm going to do, so we did 180 minus 127 to get us to 53. Now we're going to do 90 minus 53 to get us UT. So this is 37. So that 37 is our X in the formula. That's that degree. So our arc length is going to be 37 over 360 times, well, we have the diameter, so I'm going to use this formula. So just pi diameter times pi 12. So easiest way to type this in your calculator, guys, is I want you to do pi times 12 times 37 and then divide by that 360. Okay? Easiest way just to type it in. Or if you have the fancy calculators with like the little fraction bar, type it in the way it looks right now. But if you've got one of those difficult calculators where it really matters the order, do it this way. It says to round to the nearest hundredth, so that means I'm going to have 2 decimal places. Okay, now number 5. says WS, that's right here, is 4.5. So that's a radius, which means I'm going to want to use this radius formula. We want the angle measure for TS. So we're going to do, again, a little bit of math. First we know, let's find this one. So I'm going to do 180, minus that 128. That gets this to be 52. Now together, all of these again equal to 180. So now we do 180 minus the 52 minus the 31. Oh, I just found an easier way to do it. Together, these are the same. So we could have, wow, didn't realize it till just now. We could have just did 128 minus the 31. That would have been a lot easier. Didn't notice that. If you guys saw that, proud of you. So this is 97. Wow. Way easier to do it that way. So then we're going to do the arc length, that cursive L, 97 over 360. So remember, our X is that 97. That's that angle measure. That degree of that arc, 97. Times 2 pi r, which is 4.5. So in your calculator, again, if you want to make it easy for yourself, do 2 times pi times 4.5 times 97 divided by 360. So I got 7.62, because it was a 7.618, but the 8 tells us to round up. And then my unit, millimeters. And that is it for 10.3 notes on arc length.